Okay, I think we are live. I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble because I can't see my phone very good from that distance, so I gotta wear my glasses, but I can't see very good when I'm up close. So we'll just see what happens. I think Eric's gonna just let me know if it's working. Are you on yet?
Yeah.
So welcome. If this is the first time you are here, my name is Colette. I own a website called My Computer is My Canvas and one called Bloom to Balm. And basically in 2010, I started designing and sharing my printables online. And just the stuff that I was using for myself, I just started sharing it. And so you'll find everything on my website from planners and journals to gift tags and printable games. But there was a little bit of a shift that happened in 2022. We sold our home that we had been living in. And when we listed it, I shared the listing online just because I wanted to get as much traffic to our listing as I could. And anyway, one of the rooms had hold on. Sorry, I have something on the stove right now that we'll talk about in just a minute. Anyway, one of the pictures on the listing was of my living room, and I had this bank of shelving that had all the jars of my herbs on the shelves. And oh my gosh, like you guys just exploded with questions about those herb jars on my shelf. And that was really how Bloom to Balm was born. And so we've been talking about herbs now for a couple of years, and I've been sharing some information, some recipes. A lot of you bought my DIY elderberry syrup kits last week. These are going to go back on sale. We're restocking them tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So we'll talk a little bit about this tonight. But basically, there's all these comments. Fire cider. Okay, so if you're hopping on, I want you to do hashtag fire cider. We're going to do a giveaway for a DIY elderberry kit on Friday when I give you the printable recipe for fire cider, which is going to be free on my blog or on my website. So when you get on, just do hashtag fire cider. That is your entry, okay? And if you want to throw it in there a few times, so what we're going to do is we'll let the replay go for about 48 hours, and we'll just flip through, find someone who did hashtag fire cider, and we'll pick someone to mail an elderberry kit to. So put that in there, here and there. I don't care. Put it in 20 times, put it in once, whatever you want. Just get it in there so that we can see that you're here, and we'll be excited to pick someone to send it to. So 2022 was really when I started sharing with you guys about my love of herbs. But Eric's giving me Post-it notes. He's actually here tonight. I'm so happy. The other thing I want to know before we get too far in is where you're following from. So you guys know I'm in Southeast Idaho. I live just north of Bear Lake, which is a popular place. A lot of you know that. It's right on the border of Utah and Idaho. We've been here a few years. We're in our new home now, which is just lovely. So, hi, Kayleen. So anyways, back to 2022. You guys saw my herb jars. I have dozens of jars filled with herbs on a shelf in my living room. And you guys just were like, what is that? I want to know more. It's gorgeous. Tell me what those are for. And so that's when I kind of started sharing my salves. But where that all came from was, you got to rewind just a little bit. So if you're new here, you should know that my husband has had cancer 2 times, and he's had a stem cell transplant, and his health was just terrible. And so he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2012. He got clean. We had a couple of clean scans, and then he got it again in 2013. And then that was a little tougher to beat. And then he had to do a stem cell transplant in 2014. And that just basically is a total reset of your immune system. You lose all the antibodies your body's ever stored. All the memory that your immune system has built over the years, it's gone. So he was very sick all the time. Our kids would bring home a common cold. It would end up being, they only get the sniffles for a couple of days. He would get bronchitis or pneumonia or a sinus infection. He would end up on breathing treatments and steroids, and it was just ridiculous. And he would get sick multiple times a year. Oftentimes it took multiple rounds of antibiotics to get ahead of it. And you know what that does to your body? It wreaks havoc on your gut. It wreaks havoc, your body just gets tired of all that garbage going into your system. And so he, in 2017, was super, super sick. And after we got through that bout, he's like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done with antibiotics. I'm done with steroids. I'm just done. I'm tired. And you have to understand, he'd been very ill for like 5 years at that point. And so I turned to the internet and I just started searching and reading and looking and reading books and going to classes and taking classes and experimenting. And what I learned that year, and really that summer before the next, cold and flu season came, I can tell you with certainty saved his life. He was getting weaker and weaker every time we had to tackle something. And I just didn't know what else we were going to do. And so that's when I found elderberry. That's when I found FIRE CIDER. And I can tell you that he has not been on a single antibiotic since 2017. We made it. We sailed through COVID. We still get sick. We still get a common cold. But what happens is a cold is a virus. You can't do much about a virus, right? But what happens is you slow down, your lymph system slows down, things get infected. The mucus that sits in your sinuses, it gets infected. The mucus that starts building up and sitting in your lungs, it gets infected. That's when you get bronchitis. That's when you need the antibiotic. It's not the cold, it's what the cold turns into. So when I learned that, my goal became, hey, I'm going to fortify his immune system and I'm going to build it up so that he can handle a cold and it doesn't turn into some kind of secondary infection. So that's where we discovered this. So I'm going to show you how we make a batch. I probably make 2 half-gallon batches a year. This batch is done. It's ready to be strained. Anytime I strain a batch, I start a new one. And so we always have one going. And before I get too far in, I just want to tell you, I'm your friend sharing a recipe from my kitchen. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an herbalist. I'm not a practicing anything. I have no certifications. I'm just a wife and a mom who loves to research, and I love to take good care of my family. And so this is how I've taken care of my family. And I just want to introduce you to it. I'll share this recipe with you. I really, really wanted to have the printable on the website today when I launched this, but I've been told I'm doing too much. And I don't believe anyone when they tell me that until today. I just could not get it up. I just literally ran out of minutes. So I promise you by Friday, I will put this recipe up on my website as a freebie that you can come and download it and give it a try. But that's what this is. This is a recipe. All of the ingredients that I'm going to show you, you can get at your store, at your local grocery store. You can go tomorrow. And so let's just get started. So one of the most important ingredients is apple cider vinegar. You want organic apple cider vinegar. It needs to be raw and it needs to say, with the mother. Okay. It has to say with the mother. This is like probiotic rich gold. Okay. I used to use, Bragg's, but their quality has gone way downhill the last few years. And so I try to go as local as I can. This is one that's at my grocery store that's actually made by a farm in Idaho. So look at your options. If Bragg is the only option, go for it. You want it to be, it needs to be cloudy. And if there's like pulp buildup on the bottom, even better. Okay. So you're going to need apple cider vinegar, but our first and one of our most important ingredients is onions. Okay. I'm going to keep that closed for a second. So I want to talk about onions. Onions are a superfood. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they're high in vitamin C. They're packed full of antioxidants, which an antioxidant is like, it'll rev up your immune system. Okay. It contains a particular antioxidant called quercetin, and it's actually very high in it. I'm not going to talk about quercetin, but if you want to Google it, I would suggest you write that word down, quercetin, okay? So it's full of quercetin. So we're going to just put this, you're going to chop it up. You want a yellow one. The smellier, the more potent, the better, okay? You're going to put it in your jar. Woo! That is strong. Okay. I do want to read you something that I found. It's from ScienceDirect.com, and I can link some of these studies that I'll mention in the comments, like when I watch the replay. It says red and yellow onions are considered one of the best natural sources of quercetin, which is a bioflavonoid best known for its scavenging activity against free radicals. Besides antioxidant properties, it also possesses antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties. Now, the anti-inflammatory properties that are in an onion are different than ibuprofen. Ibuprofen as an anti-inflammatory shuts off the inflammation. But inflammation, when it's moderated by your body properly, is good. You need inflammation to heal. We just don't want too much inflammation. This is like an inflammation balancer. It'll make sure it's anti-inflammatory so that you don't get too inflamed, but it's not going to shut it off completely the way that like ibuprofen does. So that goes into the jar first. Next, you probably guessed it, is garlic. This is, and I'm kind of like, I'm a recipe tosser. I just like throw a little of this and a little of that in. For my mother, who needs a written recipe with how many cups something is, I have that right here. But this right here is, this was two big clumps of garlic. And then I chopped them up. So what we want to do, your onion, you're going to chop it up because we want to expose as much surface area to the apple cider vinegar as we can. Okay. So I just took this and I just kind of sliced it up like little almonds, little slices. I just want to increase my surface area as much as possible. So toss that in there. And of course we know, so garlic is antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It also is an antioxidant that stimulates the immune system. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. Fire cider, how you use it, and I'm not going to say the word dose. Don't use the word dose. It's a serving. Okay, a serving of apple cider, of fire cider, is a tablespoon a day. If you want to support your immune system through cold and flu season, you take a tablespoon a day. Or if you can't do that, because it is pretty strong stuff, you take it at the onset of symptoms. You start it. And what it does is it's like knocking at the door, just like elderberry, to your immune system and says, wake up, we got something started. It's time to start like getting ready to mount a response to this virus that's now replicating in my body. You can also start taking it when someone in your house gets sick because you know it's going to get you. If you don't want it to get you, start the fire cider. Okay. Hey, Eric, will you get me a shot glass? So what Eric and I do, we take a shot glass, we fill it half with fire cider and half with elderberry syrup. And if we want to just not get anything, especially before we travel, you take it for a few days before you travel, you take it for a few days when you get home. So we just use a standard shot glass. We fill it half with fire cider, half with elderberry syrup, okay?
That holds 1 ounce.
And this is 1 ounce, okay? Okay, so we talked about garlic. Oh, from the National Library of Medicine, which is, part of our National Health Organization. It says garlic has been used to treat common colds, fevers, coughs, asthma, and respiratory infections in Asia, Europe, and Africa for centuries. Human studies have found that garlic treatments may help prevent and reduce symptoms of viral infections such as the common cold or flu. There, garlic is going in here. Next, you might guess, is ginger root. This is, oh my gosh, it smells so good. This is fresh ginger root just from the produce department at my store. I just kind of wash it up and kind of scrub it up a little bit. I don't like take a potato peeler to it unless there's like an area that looks sketchy to me. And then I just kind of, you can grate it. But again, we want to increase our surface area so that the apple cider vinegar can do its magic. So this is going in there. Shove that down in there. And this jar is filling right up, guys. Okay, next. Oh, so ginger is also packed with antioxidants. Guys, do some reading on antioxidants. If you're not feeling well, pack your body with those and you will feel better a lot quicker with it than without them. Ginger also has a ton of vitamins and minerals and compounds like B6, C, iron, magnesium, zinc. It's all in the whole foods, you guys. All in the whole foods. Next, we're going to put in some lemon. And I like a little extra lemon, so I sliced up 2. Those are just going right in there. I'm just gonna push them down. It's a little juice in my bag. Oh yeah, it's going in. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna be sticky. Eric, will you get me a rag or something? Okay. Lemon also has vitamin C, which guess what? Guess what vitamin C actually is? It's an antioxidant. So there's flavonoids, antioxidants. It's also anti-inflammatory. So you definitely want to get lemon in there. Next, one of the most important ingredients in this whole thing is peppercorn. Is that weird? It's totally weird. Oh, take a break for a second. You guys need to do #FIRE CIDER if you want to put in another entry, okay? And then actually, why don't you also, how about for another entry, do the @ and highlight. @ highlight, no spaces. HIGHLIGHT, okay? Do that in the comments as well. Okay, so here's my jar so far. We got onions, garlic, ginger, lemon. Next, one of the most important ingredients in this whole recipe is peppercorn, which often surprises people. I've done so much research. What peppercorn is, first of all, it stimulates the body to produce white blood cells. So it's kind of waking up your immune system, right? It's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, it has vitamin C, but it contains something called piperine. I don't even know how to say it, you guys. But what that does is it prepares your gut to absorb vitamins and minerals. So it makes what's in here more bioavailable to your body. So it just supercharges this into your body, and your gut just can process it better, faster, easier. So we're gonna put peppercorns in here. I have all my little ingredients in here. We'll just talk about them. So this has peppercorn. And then for extra, so that's all you need. That's gonna be almost the base, that's 80% of the recipe right there. If that's all you have, or that's all you have time for, that's good enough, okay? After we get the apple cider vinegar in here, but there's some extra credit herbs that you can put in and spices that you can put in here as well. I always put in 1 to 2 tablespoons of oregano, rosemary, and thyme. So I don't want to take up time and talk about each of their little things that they have, but they also are very supportive to your immune system. And then of course, whole cloves. That's just a given. If you want to look those up, when you get the recipe, if you want to kind of look them up and do some of your own research, I did my own research, and whole food literally blows me away, you guys. We really do yourself a favor and go start looking at, when you're shopping, shop on the exterior of your grocery store and you're going to feel a lot better. Okay. So I have oregano, rosemary, thyme. I have my peppercorn and my cloves are all in here. So I'm going to pour these all in. Okay. And that's it. So now it's time for the extraction. And just so you know, your family is going to freak out because it's going to stink in your kitchen when you make this. Okay. Because guess what's on my stove right now? My stove, I'm just warming up some apple cider vinegar. It didn't bring it to a boil. I'm not even simmering it. I just want to warm it up so it's nice and hot, and I turn it off right before it gets to simmer, because that heat is going to it's going to accelerate the cell walls of these ingredients being broken down. So what's going to happen is this is an extraction. The vinegar is going to extract all that stuff I just told you about. The vitamin C, the zinc, the quercetin, the antioxidants, all that stuff is going to be extracted by the vinegar. And then it's like the onion is going to give its goodness to the vinegar, so that after it sits and steeps or macerates for 4 to 6 weeks, the goodness is now in the vinegar. So you're going to strain this. Okay. So let me pour this in first, and then we'll talk about it a little more. Let me just grab it.
So there have been a few questions.
Okay, that's pretty strong. Okay, Eric said, "Oh, Eric said there's been some questions." Okay, Okay, warming this up, I can really, really smell the apple cider vinegar. So I'm gonna get it poured in here, get a lid on it, and then we'll talk. Okay. So I'm just gonna pour this in. Just carefully. This is not boiling. Oh, I'm not being careful. It's spilling, Eric. It's spilling. I need a towel.
Yep.
It's spilling. I guess I could put my... You know, I just can't walk and chew gum at the same time, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I'm still in the camera. And now my house is really gonna smell like vinegar. You should see Eric's face right now. I'm gonna need another towel.
There's one right there on the counter.
Okay, let me just get this wiped up. Are you guys still doing highlight and you're doing hashtag fire cider? Woo!
So, Kayleen Murray,
Oh yes, Kayleen.
she wants to know, hold on 1 second, I lost it.
Hang on. That was horrible. Let me get a lid for this.
So Kayleen wants to know, where do you buy the apple cider vinegar at?
Okay, apple cider vinegar is just going to be at any grocery store. It's usually just buy the vinegar. So my grocery store is tiny in my little town of Montpelier, Idaho, and there's like 4 brands. So you should be able to find it anywhere. Okay, look.
Kristen Stackman wants to know how much peppercorn to use.
That's going to be in the recipe. Okay, I think it's over there under my towel. So come back on Friday. I'll send you guys an email and I'll post it. And I'll even come leave a comment on here as soon as the recipe's posted. I think it's like a teaspoon for a quart jar.
Kayleen said, good thing you're not perfect, or we think we couldn't do it.
Yeah, so when you guys spill your apple cider vinegar, you'll be like, oh, see, that's how you're supposed to do it. It was in the recipe. Yeah, guys, I am so not perfect. You don't even know. I got so many flaws. Not even funny. Okay. Anymore?
Christy Anglin wants to know, dry herbs or fresh herbs?
Either or both. So my ingredients, my garlic, my onion, my lemon, my, what else did I put in here? Ginger. That was all fresh. Okay. If you could only get like minced dry ginger, that'd be fine. It might not be quite as potent, or, you know, obviously the dehydration process can degrade the vitamins and minerals that are in things. So if you can stay fresh, if you can do fresh ingredients, that's the best. The peppercorns, yes, Christy, the peppercorns went in whole, and they'll just get nice and like soggy while they're in there. So, okay, this is now, if I wasn't making such a mess, I would be taking like a hard spoon and kind of going down there and kind of mixing this all up. Okay. But isn't it beautiful? I literally leave this on my counter, and when people come over, they're like, what is that? Oh my gosh, it's my favorite conversation starter. And then everyone wants to try it. So what does it taste like? Oh, so this is the difference. Can you see the difference? This is fresh. This is the one that's ready to be strained. So, couple things, okay? There's a few ways to make this. One, just the way that I just showed you. And then you're gonna let it sit on your shelf or on your counter for 4 to 6 weeks and let it steep. Okay, leave the lid on. If you wanna move things around when you see it, you know, that's great. It's just gonna move things around. You're just kind of agitating it just like a washing machine if you come in and, you know, do a little stir. So that's good. I oftentimes am good about that for the first couple of weeks, and then it ends up in my pantry, and then it just sits there. And that's fine. Let it sit. This one has been sitting for longer than I will tell you, because I would say 4 to 6 weeks is adequate. 4 to 6 months, man, it's great. It is so potent. Yeah, it's going to chase a cold away big time when it's that potent. So, but if you let's say you don't feel that good today and you want to start this and and you don't have 6 weeks, right? If you put it in your all this stuff in your crock pot and you put it on warm and you stick it out in your garage or your back porch with the lid on and let it just sit on warm for like 4 to 6 hours, okay? So if you're sick right now, you don't have to wait 6 weeks. I do recommend, if you do need to start a batch right now because someone in your house is sick, do that so that you can get them started on it like tomorrow. But get a...
It says it's waiting for a live video signal.
Oh. Hey, oh, there we go. I think we're back. Okay, give me hashtag Fire Cider if I'm back for you. There you go. Hi, Caitlin. So if you need to start one right now because you've got someone in your house that's like actively sick or you feel something coming on, do that. But get another one. Do two. Get one started that can steep. Okay. So when I go to strain this, I'm going to pour it over a colander into a bowl. And if you use a lot of like spice, like your oregano and your rosemary and things like that, that's going to slip through your sieve. So if you can line it with a piece of cheesecloth, or if you have a mesh strainer, that might be better. And then you're going to squeeze. Okay. If you've poured it into a mesh strainer, you let it drain, and then you're going to, like, you can use a potato masher or the back of a spoon and really just kind of press. You want to get the vinegar that's kind of saturated this stuff. You want to get it out of the onion. You want to get it out of the lemon and the ginger. Okay. So you're going to press it. And then if you feel like there's floaties, it's going to freak your family out. Like, there's nothing wrong with some oregano floaties. But if your family's going to freak out or if the texture thing's going to bother you, then run it through like some cheesecloth to pull out the little pieces of spice or the little pieces of pulp, and then it's a little more clear. Then you're going to pour it into a clean jar and keep it in your fridge. It will last for a year. It won't last for a year because you're going to use it. But if you're not good at using it or you're saving it for a rainy day, it's vinegar. It will last a really long time in your fridge. I do want to rewind back to the apple cider vinegar. Like, why do we use apple cider vinegar? And why does it have to have the mother? And why does it have to be raw, organic, unfiltered? And that's because it's full of probiotics. Regular vinegar, I don't know, I've never researched it. So I can't tell you for sure what it does or doesn't have. But raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother, it's antimicrobial. It's full of probiotics, which feed your gut. It feeds the good bacteria. There's tons of new research out that tells us that when your gut is healthy, your immune system works more efficiently. It works faster. It works better. It mounts a response quicker and more efficiently than when it's struggling. So we want to feed that good bacteria. It's also acidic, so it kills bacteria, particularly in your mouth and your throat. I will tell you, it does have a little bit of a burn going down. Your stomach will feel warm for about 2 minutes. You're like, oh, what is that? And then all of a sudden, it's like your body goes, wow, thank you so. It's like putting like an additive into your gasoline that like shoots your miles per gallon up. Like, it just boosts everything. All the processes in your body are just going to work better. A common question I get is this going to be bad for my acid reflux? To be honest, I in the past have had terrible acid reflux. I don't have acid reflux anymore. I can't even tell you the last time I took a Tums. This, you would think would make it worse. It actually, for me, made it better. I don't take Tums anymore. In fact, when I do feel an upset stomach, it feels weird that this is what you would take. This is what your stomach needs. This is what your stomach needs. It tastes like a really strong Olive Garden dressing. You can take it straight, but it's spicy. It is called fire cider for a reason. It burns going down, okay? There's a couple of easier ways to take it. So you can put it in the shot glass. Like I said, we put our elderberry syrup in here. It sweetens it up. And it just goes down the hatch. You can also put apple juice. Do half apple fire cider, half apple juice, and take it. And that is a little more bearable. It might not, the elderberry syrup, this is going to be really easy for your kids to take because it's delicious. Fire cider is not as delicious. I will tell you that right now. A kid is probably going to have a hard time taking this. Like, honestly, like my kids hate it, but they know it works. And so they're willing to take it. They're older, teenager, adult people now. They're willing to take it because they do recognize that it helps get over whatever bug they have a lot faster. And that's really what it does. This is not a cure. It's not going to cure the common cold. It's not going to cure the flu. But what these ingredients do is they fortify your immune system. They boost it, and your cold or flu is going to be shorter and the symptoms not as severe. And it's less likely that the cold or the flu turn into something more secondary where you're going to need antibiotics. Now, like I said, I'm just your friend. I'm in my kitchen. We're having a chat at my counter. I have this chat with everybody who comes into my house that sees it sitting on my counter. So I look at that just the same. I'm just sharing my recipe. If you're on a bunch of medications for different things, I would suggest you do your research just like you would anything else. But this is something that has fortified our health. And by staying out of the doctor's office, oh my gosh, we're saving time. We're saving money. Who has time to be sick? It's a pain in the butt to be sick. Your house turns into chaos. You miss work. You're paying you used to pay copays. Now you're paying practically for the whole visit because insurance doesn't even cover that anymore. Like, biggest fat pain in the butt. Go to the grocery store. You're going to spend about $20 on these ingredients. You can get it going and just start fortifying your immune system. So, Eric and I, this time of year, we like to just take it daily. We don't like to be sick. Being sick is stupid. So we try to be as preventative as we can in this house. But I have not been reading comments, so I think he has.
So Gail Pugmire wants to know what it does to your bowels.
I would say it regulates them. When your gut is being fed the proper things, and this, it says slow connection again. I would say try it, just like anything. Chili, for some people, it upsets their GI. Other people, it doesn't. So for me, this doesn't affect anything in a negative way at all for me. I don't know how everybody else necessarily is. We continue to use this every year for the last 7 years. So we personally have not had anything adverse in that department. Great question. Did you see any others? Yeah, if you have a question. Oh, hi, Haley. My daughter's watching. Hello. So back to servings, you can take it daily just as like an immune support, or you can take it, when you do have an active situation going on where you have active symptoms, you're going to want to take it 3 or 4 times a day. Okay. So once a day, just prophylactically to support your immune system. But once you have active symptoms, if you're the one with the scratchy throat or you start feeling that feeling in your sinuses, in our house, we start taking the elderberry and the fire cider 3 or 4 times a day until the symptoms are gone. So that's why I make mine in half-gallon batches it's a half-gallon jar, but it fits pretty close to the full 32 ounces because even though this is a 64-ounce jar, I'm obviously filling it with a lot of other things. Let's see.
So a couple more questions. Karen Sunderland. She says,
hi, Karen.
How about a person with SIBO, SIBO? So
I'm just going to say do your own research. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a clinical herbalist. This is basically a salad dressing recipe, to be honest. So if there's an ingredient in here that you're nervous about based on a condition you have or another medication that you take, go do your own research. And because there's so many conditions and things out there that we all deal with, that you should definitely put in some time to do some research if you feel concerned about it. Oh, I should mention, I said salad dressing. You literally can put it on your salad. I've been known also, like one time, actually I've done it multiple times, but this one time I had a roast that needed, and like it needs to go in the crock pot today. And I just did not have time to mix up any of my like marinades. And so I'm like, I'll just dump the rest of my fire cider in there. So I put a couple of cups of water and I dumped my fire cider in there, like whole with all the stuff. And it was delicious. So this is just really similar to what you would find on the recipe of an Italian dressing minus the oil. Let's see. Somebody asked about the jars.
Yeah, so Danielle, a couple people have. Danielle and Jamie asked where you get the jars, and they, as well as the lids.
So the jars are half-gallon mason jars. These are just ball jars. You can get them at Walmart. Just go to your canning aisle. I don't know if I've seen the half-gallon jars at my particular small grocery store, but you can get them at Walmart. Of course, they're available online. I don't like buying glass online because it seems like it arrives broken. These lids are my favorite. They come in packages on Amazon in all these multicolors. So I have all these things going. And I know the color-coded system of what I put on what. But our lids, colorful mason jar lids, type that into Amazon and you'll find some. What else? Was there another question? Let me look at my notes here. We talked about peppercorn.
So K.E. Grant is asking if anybody's had this that deals with like Crohn's.
Oh, are we back? Okay, hello. We were waiting. It was just like spinning. Poor connection. Seriously, I did not. We have Starlink. There's no reason we should have a poor connection. Let's see. Crohn's. Do your own research. I have not done any specific research on Crohn's. Crohn's does not affect anyone in my family, so I've not personally done any research. So definitely go do your research and experiment with it based on your risk tolerance, I guess. I would say if vinegars in general upset you, pickles, things like that, then you might give it a second thought. But yeah, just go do some research. There's a ton of information online. What else? I gave you my disclaimer. I'm just a girl in her kitchen sharing a recipe.
Annette Ship wants to know, she said the recipe that she got from you a long time ago had cayenne powder in it.
Oh,
do you still use
yes.
that?
Okay. So my original recipe has cayenne pepper in it. On the new recipe, on the new page, I put optional on that. So cayenne pepper is hot, and it will induce a sweat. What it does is it will clear your sinuses, but it does have some heat. So I don't put it in my extraction in my jar, but what I will do is after it's strained, if that's what I'm dealing with, I might put it in my jar that's just a powder, shake it up in there like a 1/4 teaspoon, or maybe a 1/2 teaspoon in my jar and shake it up. I took that off my main recipe just because I had kids and they would not take it. Not that it would harm them in any way, but it's hot. It does make you sweat. But what I found is when you put cayenne pepper, it definitely helps clear out your sinuses, which that might be a desirable, benefit that you're looking for. So I only add it if I need it now. Great question.
So Char Manzioni.
Hi, Char.
So after straining, do you store it in the vinegar bottle?
I guess you could. That's actually not a bad idea. You totally could.
Why don't you show her the one that we stored in? Just pull it out of the fridge.
We store ours in these, like.
What are you looking for?
When you put it in a mason, this is my elderberry syrup I just made last week. It's a little harder to pour out of these. So a bottle with a spout with a narrow neck and a spout is a lot easier. So yeah, if you kept your jar, once it's strained, I don't see any reason why you couldn't. I wouldn't even rinse it out, to be honest with you. The vinegar that's in there, leave it. You don't need to add water. I would just leave it. Put the lid on, and yeah, I don't see why you couldn't do that. That's a good idea.
Patty Duncan, when you were frozen, she missed how long you put it in the crock pot for.
If you're doing like the fast method where you want to get it done right away, I would just, like I said, not even low. Low is too hot. Put it on warm, and I would do it for 4 to 6 hours, and it will stink. It will smell like you're cooking Olive Garden dressing. So do it in your garage, do it in your back porch. You know, obviously taking care to make sure an animal, your dog's not going to get into it or whatever. But it will stink up your house if you do it that way. This way in the jar, I mean, it smelled really bad when I took the lid off. Woo! That whiff was pretty strong. And then once I poured it in here and got the lid on, I can't smell it anymore. And what I can smell is probably because it's on my floor. Okay, so I'm going to put this recipe, will be a free printable on my website. I'm going to try to make a tag because I really liked how this has a tag on it that tells you what the serving is so that after you make it, you can label it properly. So that's actually the reason that I didn't get it up today, is I just did not have time to make a cute tag. Sorry.
They're asking if you store it in the fridge and then
yes.
how long?
Store it in the fridge for up to a year. And I'm going to tell you, if it lasts for a year in your fridge, it's because you're not using it and you need to drink it. It shouldn't be in your fridge for a year. You should be taking it. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? I would say up to a year. But if you're actually taking it and using it, you shouldn't have any trouble using through a quart during cold and flu season. In fact, you'll probably make it twice if you're using it the way you should. Really quickly, I want to mention my elderberry kits. We got so many boxes delivered. We had to clean out our garage to receive everything. So we are putting these back on the website tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Mountain. We will open pre-order batch number 4 up. We've gotten hundreds of them out already. We have over 100 orders that we have to fill in the next few days for round 2. So anyways, but I have enough material on hand that I know how many I can make, so we will add them to the website tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So get your fire cider going, and then come back and get one of these if you haven't already. And then because we're talking about herbs, my nativity salve is being released tomorrow night. This is my best seller ever of all time. So this is much anticipated. I'm releasing it earlier this year so that we have time to get ahead of the curve before the holidays set in. It is a pre-order. We will start shipping them probably sometime between the 25th of October and November 1st. So it'll be here plenty of time for the holidays. We got these new bags this year. This is one of the bundles. I also made gift cards to go with it this year. This is the front. This is the back. It has a write-up on the biblical significance of frankincense and myrrh, how it was used biblically, and then how the salve can be used today. It's like, I should have done this 2 years ago, but it does have a to from on it so that you can give it as a gift and they'll know exactly what to do with it. I am also releasing a new size. This is the 2-ounce size. It's a green tin. It will come in a red star bag with the card and the lip balm. So that's going to be available for pre-order tomorrow night as well. I preemptively ordered the tins, so I hope, and I got hundreds of them, I hope I got enough. We'll put it that way. I'm hoping I got enough. So definitely hop on the website tomorrow night to get your elderberry syrup. Toss in a hashtag fire cider again, so that for an entry to get one of these. I will come back and announce the winner of the elderberry kit on Friday on this feed, like in the comments and then also in the caption, so that we can give people 48 hours to watch the replay. And then again, I will post the recipe. I will give you the actual recipe, how many cups, teaspoons, tablespoons, whatever. You'll get the whole recipe as a free printable on my website, and I will have that posted sometime by Friday.
So Stephanie Cooper wants to know where you get the lids at.
Hi, Stephanie. I get the lids on Amazon. They're my favorite. I have tons of them. Just type in plastic, wide mouth. I'm a wide mouth jar girl. So they come in wide mouth and regular mouth are the smaller ones. Wide mouth is this size. And just type in like plastic, wide mouth, mason jar lids, and they'll come up. They come in all kinds of colors. They're really fun. Anything else? Should I look at my notes? Oh, did you guys see the comet last night? We saw it. It was awesome. We just saw it tonight again as well. Okay, so are you guys liking these lives? Should we keep doing them? Give me like a heart if you think I should. Think of something else to do. I'm just looking. Stephanie, Christy, Rhonda, thanks you guys for coming. That was so fun. The only thing I wish is that I could like read your comments as fast as you're putting them.
So you're getting tons of likes, tons of hearts, tons of thumbs up.
And I'm so glad Eric is here. He's like never home. This is great to have. I can like look over and he's holding up signs for me. Hi, Kay and Shari. Oh my gosh, Christy. Lisa. Oh yeah. Give me a fire emoji. Woo woo. You guys are going to love this. I hope you benefit from it as much as we have, and I hope it keeps you out of the doctor's office. I hope it keeps you healthier this winter. And definitely, it's a 1-2 punch with the elderberry syrup. So get yourself some shot glasses if you don't have them already. And anyway, I guess I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 for the big release of Nativity and my elderberry restock. And then I'll see you Friday when I get this recipe posted.
Should we take a shot on live?
You want to see me drink it?
No, I'll do it.
Eric loves it. He actually says he craves it.
So there's half. Bottoms up.
Woo!
Italian salad dressing.
Way better than a Z-Pack, you guys. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, I gotta go mop my floor. I'll see you guys later.